The eternal haunting of Milburn, a town draped in shadows. A panoramic shot of Milburn, a picturesque New England town nestled in a snowy valley. The camera slowly zooms into the town square as the day turns to dusk. Streetlights flicker on, casting eerie shadows over the cobblestone streets. The faint sound of a child's laughter echoes, then abruptly stops. Milburn, New York, is a town like no other, a place where history clings to every stone and where the past refuses to rest. To its residents, it is a quiet, charming town, but to the members of the Chowder Society, it is a place of unrelenting terror. Peter Straub's ghost story is a masterpiece of psychological and supernatural horror. It weaves a complex tale of guilt, memory, and vengeance, where the lines between the living and the dead blur. This is not just a ghost story. It is a reckoning of the soul. The Chowder Society's Pact. A dimly lit study, its walls lined with leather-bound books. 4 elderly men sit around a crackling fire, their faces drawn and pale. Each holds a glass of brandy, their hands trembling slightly. The camera lingers on their haunted eyes. The Chowder Society, Ricky Hawthorne, Sears James, John Jaffrey, and Edward Wanderley gather every winter to share ghost stories. It is a tradition born of camaraderie, but steeped in something darker. Beneath their tales lies a secret they have buried for decades, a secret that now threatens to consume them. Years ago, the 4 men shared a bond of guilt and silence. Their involvement in the mysterious death of a woman named Ava Galley has haunted them ever since. They convinced themselves it was an accident, but deep down, they knew better. A flashback of a young Eva Galley, her beauty captivating and otherworldly. The scene shifts to her lifeless body, the men staring in horror as they carry her to a nearby pond. Her eyes suddenly open, and a faint, malevolent smile crosses her lips before she sinks beneath the water. Now, the past has returned to claim them. Each man is plagued by nightmares and visions, their stories of ghosts no longer mere fiction, but chilling reality. The stranger in Milburn. A snowstorm envelops the town as a shadowy figure walks down an empty street. The camera follows the figure, its face obscured by a wide-brimmed hat and a scarf. The storm intensifies, and the figure vanishes into the swirling snow. The arrival of a mysterious stranger coincides with a series of horrifying events. Animals are found mutilated, townspeople vanish, and an oppressive sense of dread blankets Milburn. The Chowder Society begins to suspect that their secret has awakened something far more sinister than they could have imagined. Visual. The interior of a rustic inn where the stranger is staying. The innkeeper hesitates before knocking on the door, her hand trembling. The door creaks open slightly, revealing a dark room and a pair of glowing eyes staring back at her. The stranger's presence stirs memories of Ava Galley. The men realize that she is not just a ghost, but something far more powerful, a shapeshifter, an ancient entity capable of taking on any form to exact her vengeance. The hauntings begin. Ricky Hawthorne sits in his office late at night. A typewriter clicks on its own, spelling out the words, "I remember you." The camera pans to a window where Eva's face appears, her expression twisted with rage. The hauntings grow more personal and violent. John Jaffrey, the group's physician, suffers a fatal heart attack after a terrifying encounter with Eva. His death sends shockwaves through the Chowder Society, leaving the remaining members gripped by fear. A funeral scene under a gray sky. Snow falls softly as the casket is lowered into the ground. The camera shifts to a distant figure watching from the trees, her face obscured, but unmistakably Eva's. Ava's presence is not confined to the Chowder Society. The entire town begins to feel her wrath. Children report seeing a beautiful woman who lures them into the woods, only for them to return changed, their eyes hollow and lifeless. Dawn Wanderley's arrival. A train pulls into Milburn Station. Dawn Wanderley, a young man with a rugged demeanor, steps onto the platform. He carries a leather satchel and a typewriter, his face etched with determination. Dawn Wanderley, Edward's nephew, is drawn to Milburn after his uncle's mysterious death. A writer of supernatural tales, Dawn is no stranger to the unexplainable. But what he encounters in Milburn surpasses anything he has ever imagined. Visual. Dawn flipping through his uncle's journals late at night. The pages are filled with cryptic entries and sketches of Ava Galley. The sound of footsteps echoes in the empty house. But when Dawn checks, no one is there. The chase to Transylvania. The group racing through Europe, chasing Dracula's carriage as it speeds toward Castle Dracula. Snow falls heavily, and wolves howl in the distance. The final confrontation takes the group back to Transylvania. Dracula, weakened but determined, retreats to his castle, where he plans to regain his strength. Visual. A dramatic chase through the mountains. The group battles Dracula's loyal servants, the Scani, as they race against time to reach the castle before sunset. In a climactic battle, they confront Dracula at the gates of his fortress. As the sun rises, Jonathan Harker and Quincy Morris deliver the fatal blow, driving a knife into the Count's heart. Dracula crumbles to dust, his curse lifted. The legacy of darkness. The castle collapses, consumed by flames. The group stands together, weary but triumphant, as the first rays of dawn break over the horizon. With Dracula destroyed, Mina is freed from his influence, and the group returns to England, forever changed by their ordeal. The story of Dracula is one of courage, sacrifice, and the enduring struggle between good and evil. A final shot of the ruins of Castle Dracula, shrouded in mist. A voiceover echoes, "Evil may rise again, but so too will those who stand against it." The eternal night, the pages of Bram Stoker's novel turning, revealing illustrations of key moments from the story. The camera zooms out to show the book closing, its title etched in gold. Bram Stoker's Dracula is more than a tale of horror. It is a timeless exploration of fear, desire, and the resilience of the human spirit. It reminds us that even in the darkest of nights, there is always hope for the dawn. Outro. A call to action overlay invites viewers to subscribe for more stories of horror and legend. This extended script enhances the novel's haunting themes, providing vivid visual cues to captivate the audience while staying true to the essence of the original story.